Hello, boys and girls. Today we are moving on with the next steps of our fall tree project. Last time we drew our tree by making a tall, skinny rectangle. We added 2 more skinny rectangles to make our tree into a capital letter Y. Then we used lowercase letter Y's to fill in our tree branches at the top. We used a green zigzag line to make our grass at the bottom, and of course we did our very best job coloring in our tree. Today we are ready to move on with the next steps, which is going to be adding leaves to the top of our tree. If you are working here at school, we are going to be using these leaf texture plates or rubbing plates, and I will show you how to use those in just a second. If you are working at home and you do not have something like this, then you can use anything that has a rough surface. These leaves are not actually going to show up perfectly on here, so anything that just creates a texture will work for this step of our project. In art, texture is the way that something feels or the way that it looks like it would feel. So for this, we are creating texture in the top of our tree by doing some rubbing on the rough parts of this texture plate. So I'm going to choose a color for my leaves. I'm going to choose either a red, a yellow, or an orange, and usually there are different variations of those colors, so you can choose any color that is a reddish color, a yellow color, or an orange color for your fall tree. We are going to take our texture plate and we are going to stick it underneath our paper. Then we're going to use the side of an old crayon. We're going to lay it flat on our paper, and then we're going to rub over the top, and you will see how that leaf starts to pop up. I'm going to move my leaf so that I can fill in some more areas. Just like this. I'm going to move my leaf again so that I can get some texture on this side of my tree. I'm going to move it a little more. And we're just going to keep rubbing until we get the top of our tree all filled in with our texture. Once you have that part done, we will take out our texture plate and set it to the side, and then we're going to use watercolor paints to paint in our sky. Now this will be the first time that we are painting, so let's talk about the right way to use a paintbrush. So when we use a paintbrush, we never want our paintbrush to have a crazy hairdo. Okay, it should always be slick and wet like this. When you get your paint, you're going to, or rather get your paintbrush out of the water, you're going to see that there's a lot of extra drips, and I'm not sure if you can see that in my camera, but you'll probably see it in real life, that there's a lot of drips that come out of your paintbrush, and we don't want those on there. So we're going to take our wet paintbrush and just touch it to the side of our water bucket. We never tap. Tapping your paintbrush makes the water splash out and it makes a mess all over your desk. So we don't want to tap. We're just going to touch it to the inside, and then all those drips run right back down inside your bucket. Then you're ready to get some paint. For this project, we are only using blue and purple paint in our sky. So I'm going to start with some blue, and I don't want to press hard. I don't want to scrub it or push hard and wiggle around in a circle. We're just going to brush it across the top, very nice and neat. When we're ready to paint, we're going to go in back and forth motions. Again, we're not going around in a circle, just back and forth. We're going to paint right over the top of our fall leaves. And you can see that the crayon acts as a resist. It resists the paint. So I'm going to get a little bit more. I'm going to go over my leaves so that my sky is filled in. And I'm just going back and forth. I'm not going to paint over my brown tree. I'm just going to paint over my leaves. And again, just back and forth, painting around the tree in back and forth motions. Now, I have some nice blue sky here, so I'm going to add a little bit of purple to see if I can make it look like a sunset. So I'm going to take some purple paint, again, just brushing it gently. Ooh, that purple is dark, so we're going to blend that in a little bit. I'm going to go down the side of my tree, back and forth. Oh, I'm sorry, making a video. 1 second. Back and forth so that we can get all of our sky filled in. Again, going back and forth with my paintbrush. I'm never going around in circles. And my paintbrush should never have crazy hair. I'm going to add a little bit more purple over on this side to make my sunset. And to fill that in. Once your painting is finished, we need to stop. I know it's hard to stop because painting is so fun, but if we keep painting over and over and over, we're going to put holes in our paper. So once your painting is covered completely, we are going to stop and let that dry.